Hello, my name is Ronnie Rocha. I decided to do a video note on this just because I write a lot of papers and we do a lot of writing. Plus this is an introduction to kind of see, who kind of put a face with the name. And so this is me. My name is Ronnie Rocha. I actually turned 50 this month. That's a half century. And yeah, I'm still considered, I believe, a freshman in college. Majoring in psychology, which would be child and adolescent psychology, with a concentration in mental health. I'm also getting a concentration in sociology, so I could do some social work as well. I do plan on going to graduate school as well. I live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and I actually live in Arlington, so I'll probably be going to UTA. They have a good psychology department there. I'll look more into it, but that's probably what I'm going to end up doing after I get my bachelor's degree here at Southern New Hampshire University, which I've really enjoyed. I've really liked it so far. If you tell by my background, I'm a sports guy. I played semi-pro football for a long time. Injuries put me out, pretty much like most. But I'm a real big football guy, real big baseball guy. I coach youth baseball. I do a lot of things with youth sports. And so what's kind of going into the child psychology is one of the reasons why. I guess I found out really early that I am more of instead of being a baseball coach, I was more of a youth coach teaching life through baseball. So I consider myself a youth coach that taught baseball, so, and that's the way I see myself. So I think it's a good route going in there and working with kids, psyche, and the parents and the coaches as well. So that's what I'll be doing. Like I said, I'm going to go ahead and go over my discussion, and then I'll just start with the 4 questions that were asked and see how I do on these. So after watching the video, which was very informative, I really liked the video that was put up. But let me see. Let's go to the first question. Was how would you describe one of the cognitive biases discussed in the video? That's what I'm going to say. I liked the one where it talked about how sharks are dangerous, and if I describe that, it's the same thing as being told over social media, over regular media. We're almost spoon fed on what we're meant to believe, what we're meant. They can just pretty much tell us anything, and we're going to believe it. As soon as somebody sees it as a fact, which doesn't always happen, they'll post it on social media. You'll see it 20 billion times, and then it gets put in our head that that's the way it is. That's the truth, and that's factual as well. And that's not always the case. Like I think I don't know the facts on it, but I know sharks. Like you can have 2 to 3 shark attacks a year, but if they're put on the front page and there's movies made about it or anything, well then we're just going to be just terrified of it. A quick example of that is when in the 80s, and I'm not sure why, I'd really like to look into it, we were taught that what to do about quicksand. And for some reason, quicksand was just a huge deal. You know what? I forgot to come on. Give me just a sec. I'm going to see if this is going to change how it sounds. I was taught that quicksand was going to be. Sorry. New ring camera thing. So let's try this. I really don't want to edit any of this. So, okay, here we go. So quicksand was taught to us, and it was all over the news on how quicksand was bad. But I live in Texas, and I don't think I've ever seen quicksand in my life. But it's the way they teach us, through the social media, through things like that, and kind of going on in how these biases cause people to make inaccurate decisions. In a case like sharks, you can spend so much money on shark repellent or anything like that to stop that from happening from your to stop from a shark attack, and you're swimming in a lake, or in my case like quicksand. What to do? Well, we can buy these I don't know, inflatable jackets that if we step in quicksand, we can inflate it and we'll save ourselves. could cause us to spend lots of money, time, and just our, what am I trying to say? Just spend a lot of like anguish and stress over something that's probably not going to happen. And so, we can make these decisions to do either to spend the money or to use our energy on something that, we're not even going to experience. And so that's how those biases can cause that certain things. And case in point, presidential election. I won't get too much into the politics of it or anything, but you see how you're trying to be persuaded to one way or another, Trump, Biden, and in all the other elections. I mean, Trump says this, and you see it in the news. Oh, he's being sued for this, being sued for that, or Biden doesn't know this from that and falls asleep at things. And that's all they're doing is just trying to persuade you to make a certain decision. And I'm not going to say if I'm one way or another, but you can kind of tell that I was happier paying $1.89 for gas than $3.49 and sometimes up to $6. So I guess you can kind of see how we're persuaded there. But that's how it can cause us to make certain decisions. And those decisions can be costly. Inflation is just, so high right now and everything. I was working in the food industry, and it's so hard for people to find jobs right now because of, there's jobs out there, but they're right now it's so easy to access free money almost. So therefore it's causing them not to work, not to make that choice to work. And then there's certain laws being placed. So that's how it really affects a lot of that. How might we use the data and scientific reasoning to avoid these types of biases? Excuse me, I was drinking my coffee. Using the scientific reasoning and the data, it can help us avoid certain biases and by identifying patterns and trends that will how am I trying to say this? Like inaccurate predictions. And as a matter of fact, the data will actually make accurate predictions and conclusions. So, I had my thought, and I'm sorry, I just kind of had going on there. Without the data, like I said, we're kind of just fending for ourselves on what we were told, what Jimmy told us, what the news told us, what social media told us. And so we're having these predictions and things we're basing this on and everything on that with no data. But when we have scientific data that people have researched this and studied it, come to find out it's not the same. And that kind of leads to the next one about the data literacy and the importance of it. And I'll get to that here in a sec. But it helps us so much because we see this small part of where we live. Without any data, we think that it's like the video said, we see this much, that sharks or anything gonna eat us or anything. Well, I live on land and I don't go to the ocean, so I don't know how much sharks attack. And if I'm really in danger, am I in danger from it driving up here and just attacking me in some kind of water car? But with certain data, I might learn this and research. They might tell me that, hey, these sharks are starting to drive these water cars and you might want to look out. So, not sure if I'm going to see that in the news or not, but who knows? So, and go into how does the concept of data literacy and the importance of psychological research apply to any of the following? The programmatic course themes. I did a little research on, not a little bit of research on it, but I just kind of looked up, say for like the social justice. There's a good example. Lack of the data literacy, that leads to all sorts of inequalities and injustices. Case in point, the study on education. So here's a good one. These standardized tests that they do. And this has actually been in the news a long time ago where they talked about standardized tests and the lower income students weren't doing as well as some of the wealthier income students. And so therefore they're like, well, that could lead to a certain intelligence, or certain abilities and stuff, that they're more intelligent and everything. When come to find out, it's the data, literacy, the data shall show that, like the social economic factors might say that the access to resources or lack thereof of the access to resources for some of those students could cause that the quality of their education also being in a lower income area, and possibly discrimination also can be contributing factors to that. And so it's not so much as their abilities or even their intelligence, it's just the lack thereof. And so if they had it kind of goes for the equality to equity. If they had the same, the same resource and everything, might be doing just as good. And so that's why we need the data literacy and everything, and on all those things, because that's what's going to help, kind of like you said, keep it equal a little bit, and it probably definitely show that. That video I really liked, how it went over all four of those things, and the rule of thumbs, the misconceptions, and that's a good way to live. So I think I'm going to continue to follow that, and I think I'm really going to like this class, by the way. So hopefully this session, I planned it to be about 5 minutes, it's going on 11 minutes, so I apologize. So I'll go ahead and wrap this up, and like I said, my name is Ronnie Rocha. I look forward to this class, but other than that, thank you, and we'll see you later.